Okay, so thank you for attending today's session. So this session is the second session of the AI Native Pattern Practice Academy webinar series. So you will have a brief introduction of the previous session, and then I will be going on today's topic. Okay, so first, I will start in the full screen mode. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the summary of session one, that from framework to implementation. And I'm going to talk about organizational models for AI native pattern practice. And I'm going to talk about real world case examples of AI native pattern practice. And then finally, I'm going to talk about building best AI native pattern practice. So first, this is a summary of the previous session, the session one. So you have a recording link here, so you can look at the whole session. And also, I recommend to visit the AI Native Pattern Practice Academy in LinkedIn page, that it has all the previous webinar session related presentation slide and also recordings, and also around 11 the white papers currently. So you can download all of them if you're interested in. And okay, so basically what I talk about the last session about is to motivate to do that. So the AI native is a common language in currently in all of the industry. If you are in the professional in any or like a particular industry, then AI native is currently used very commonly. But contrary to that, this terminology, even if it's very common, but actually it's not much used in the patent practice. So as I'm a patent professional and also like an AI expert, so I'm motivated to have some this kind of like a new paradigm in the AI era, that AI native is a common sense now. So I'm interested in to develop the new frameworks that our next generation patent practitioners, the professionals will be kind of like prepare to the new era. So you may be seeing in other industry that the older professional law is dramatically changes. So it will be the same will be in patent practice and IP professionals. So I'm trying to find out the best way to cultivating to prepare this young generation of these patent practitioners. So that actually I initiate this academy that to find out the best content and the best way to deliver and the best way to actually cultivate. So in the first session, I just introduced what is meant by AI native patent practice. So the conceptual foundation. So this is completely new, right? In even in I know that including me that I also have involved in a lot of the AI innovations and then IP protection and all kind of like IP related IT for the AI. But actually that AI itself as a part of the patent practice is a relatively new concept. So all of this framework actually I developed. So still needed too much feedback from the peers and experts, something like that. So this is the motivate that I started and then develop my own framework. And then I want to share with other people to make more better way, to better content. So pattern practice is evolving into a lifecycle intelligence system. So traditional workflows are fragmented across search, drafting, prosecution, and portfolio management. So AI enables integration of analytic capabilities across this stage. And AI-native pattern practice is architecture transformation. So AI is embedded within workflow rather than used as external tools. And intelligence flows across entire pattern life cycle. The key shift is from document production to decision architecture. So pattern practice becomes a system of structured decision making supported by the continuous analytic intelligence. So, for example, in the life cycle architecture, pattern practice operate as an interconnected life cycle system. So, life cycle stages include invention analysis, prior to discovery, drafting and prosecution, portfolio governance, enforcement, and monetization. And also, AI enables cross-stage knowledge flow. So, such insight influencing drafting and prosecution outcomes inform portfolio strategy, and portfolio analytics guide enforcement and licensing. So, so in a session that what is the limitation in traditional, and even recently there are many type of the AI powered solution to support the pattern practice. So while the framework is clear, the implementation remains a key challenges. So most organizations still operate in fragmented workflows. AI tools are used in isolated task. Lifecycle integration is limited. And the gap between concept and practice, organizations understand AI potential, but lack structured implementation models. So I want to develop some systemic way to like a structured implementation models to develop and the adopted by the pattern practice organizations. So proposal of session two that I described that the focus on translating framework into practice. So the session addressed the three key questions like the how organizations structure AI pattern workflows, how AI is being implemented in real-world practice, and how to build best practice for AI pattern systems. So the session one to session two, that session one defined what AI pattern practice is, so lifecycle integrated decision architecture. And session two focused on how to build it, so organizational design, workflow integration, and real-world implementation patterns. Okay, so the first I want to discuss about the organizational model for AI native pattern practice. So the original transformation challenges, the primary barrier to AI native adoption is organizational design. So traditional pattern practice is structured in silos. So search, drafting, prosecution, portfolio management operate independently. And also AI tools alone do not solve fragmentation. So isolate tools to improve efficiency, but not system level performance. And AI-native pattern practice requires workflow re-architecture, so decisions must be connected across life cycle stages. And so I just propose three organizational models of AI adoption. So this organization can be in like a law firm or the in-house IP division in a company or some of the like type of the some IP practice, the IP service organization. So the evolves through three stages of AI integration. So model one is AI assisted traditional practice. So AI just support individual tasks. This is the current status mostly. The workflows remain unchanged. And model two is workflow into AI practice. So AI embedded into multiple stage. And then that mostly through some recently there are several solution as a platform base to provide this and partial life cycle continuity. And Model 3 is a complete AI native pattern practice. So AI is embedded into life cycle architecture. So decision making is integrated and traceable. So emerging AI native form model. So a new category of AI native pattern organization is emerging. It's just the early stage. AI native forms integrate AI into core workflows from inception. So invention, intake, drafting, analysis are AI system structures. So example that in currently is adopting in practical way is to AI system interact with inventors directly and generate structure invention disclosure and provide early patternability insight. So transformation begins at the early stage of the life cycle now. Then role evolution in AI native organizations. So pattern professionals lore transit to system level roles. So traditional lore is a document drafting for execution. And AI native role is workflow design, AI supervision, and strategic decision making. So pattern professionals become decision architecture. So guiding AI augmented lifecycle intelligence system. So before moving to that, actually, this is my personal insight that I just have a radar to catch the signal that I talk about in this section. That for example, that in the job requirement that I found several form. That one form actually particularly they are looking for someone actually they having they claim that they are the law firm actually starting the AI native pattern practice and then supporting the professionals actually can build up their organization mostly in the patent prosecution area, but usually their as I mentioned is very early stage involvement of like for example invention harvesting and then prior to search and embedded search is search type and also the patent prosecution type of the integrated AI tools, but I didn't see that they actually the complete AI native kind that I mentioned about integrate with the workflow, full workflow and full life cycle is not yet. And some forms that I found, for example, I'm based in Boston, so in Boston is a lot of the pharmaceutical the the research the laboratories is located, and then some pharmaceutical, for example, like a Sanofi. Actually, I found that they're looking for someone that to handle their AI powered solution. Like in their job description, they talk about that someone is they actually they are not looking for the attorney, but actually the patent agent, some more like, technical that handling their like in-house the system to utilizing AI powered pattern drafting or other kind of the solutions. So that's just a letter, right? Because I found that the current status is as I mentioned, the recognition of the usefulness of the AI powers tool, but not completely understanding of that how they can be integrated as their everyday practice. And mostly what I'm still concerned about my initiative is this is the same thing because I've been in more than 30 years in industry, not just in IP practice. I've been 20 years in IP, but more than years, like more than 30 years in tech industry. So I know about the not just the patent practice, but the just business operation as a top executive. So I know about that the way actually the adopting something like this one, right? Because practice supporting like a decision supporting or the business supporting kind of the tools and so integrate with their everyday practice work for requires some motivation, right? And then, this is a very early stage. That's why that I initiate this one it's good to start now to worthwhile based on my the intensive experience in not just in the pattern practice but the AI kind of like technologies. And so I have a in personal experience actually developing this kind of solutions. So I know about their limitations and their powers, and then also like as a practicing attorney. So I know about I've been through the like all the life cycle from the invention harvesting to patent drafting, prosecution, and litigation and monetization. Particularly, I'm mostly the focus on in monetization area. So I tried to develop this one. It will be very, very needy in a maybe in some feature, right? So but still that for example this is just something that I experienced that usually this kind of like this kind of new framework paradigm is to be adopted. Actually there is a very strong motivation and then for example that the in-house counsel that usually work with the law firm that if as a strong need that in from the top or some reason that some specific organization or environment that require that they need to adopt to the AI native pattern practice in-house and that they require that they're supporting law firms actually they want to have this one that may be very good but I'm not sure. And also, like for example, that the law firms actually that their client actually so demand kind of like they selected some of the law firms actually to provide this kind of AI native pattern practice is their selection choice. That'll be a very good situation to me to developing this one, but uh, this is generally that is there is a indirectly that based on other industry that AI native is required now more and more. So my expectation is to be the patent and additionally IP and also like a legal in entirely they require AI nativeness. But until certain time that as far as I understand from other industry that there is a turning point that there is a tipping situation happen that this kind of framework is really needed and then so that actually the is a kind of like a dramatic change in the situation and then started to adopt dramatically. Otherwise, this kind of like AI native, particularly in the pattern practice, my expectation is will be slowly adopted until the certain circumstance happen to require this AI native pattern practice is norm. But for me, actually, it is worthwhile try now because from my experience that I have 30 years and I'm mostly I working in the emerging technology area, that this will be happen in some time, and then my work will be a good like a starting to be shared with other the patent professionals. That's my insight about this. Okay, so real world case example. So this is one actually that I just searched over internet. So this is based on the older like disclosed information. So I look at some specific law firm in their post in their site or in other site about they share their experience, sort of the like AI native patent practice or some of the law firms or the in-house kind of division or something. So all this the case is actually the real world case because I just based on the disclosed information. So I didn't cite the exact name of the company or the law firm, but you can look at the in the white paper. So white paper name is the real world cases of ANA patent practice. So if you're interested in the which law firm, the which companies the IP department to actually disclose this information, then you can look at this white paper. Okay, so a native patent practice is operational, so it is adopting, right, slowly. So real-world implementation demonstrate institutional adoption. So you can think that I just summarize actually what was disclosed. I just get all information and analyze and just summarize it. So AI embedded into defined lifecycle workflows. So drafting is mostly prosecution, litigation analytics, and portfolio management. And AI operate within particular the practitioner's controlled environment. So supporting analysis, consistent and structured reasoning. And the case pattern one this is just to summarize a big grouping of the I have observed through the like disclose information. And this is drafting and prosecution integration is very common. So AI embedded into drafting and prosecution workflows. So AI supports claim consistency analysis and structure prior to review and office action response preparation. So improve the drafting quality and more consistent prosecution strategy. And another is in the litigation and enforcement analysis. So AI is integrated into enforcement workflows. So AI support claim chart generation and infringement analysis and portfolio investigation. So it impact like enhanced litigation preparation and structured enforcement strategy. And another area that I found is a portfolio intelligence system. So AI enable portfolio level strategy analysis. So AI supports the technology landscape analysis and competitor monitoring and portfolio evaluation. So data-driven portfolio governance and improve strategic positioning. And in-house infrastructure design. So corporate IP department demonstrate the most advanced adoption. So by nature, because the most of the corporation I mentioned that I found is usually the high tech, big tech, deep tech, health tech company. So AI is integrated into enterprise systems, the docketing and renewals and portfolio dashboard and competitive intelligence monetization evaluation. So patent practice becomes part of enterprise decision system is one the key features that I found. And an infringement-driven prosecution strategy. So it's somewhat like a partial integration of the like the whole life cycle, the workforce. So patent prosecution is increasingly informed by work forward-looking infringement analysis. So this is one patent that actually that I found that the implementation infringement analysis during office action stage. So drafted claims are evaluated against real-world product implementations, and crime scope is assessed in relation to competitor system. And during claim amendment, like decisions, the balance patentability and enforcement value, and claim scope is optimized for both allowance and infringement coverage. And after allowance, the continuation strategy is guided by infringement gap. So additional claims are designed to expand the coverage against the target product. So impact is the prosecution becomes a multi-object decision system. and pattern drafting connected directly to enforcement and monetization. So key insight is the AI embedded into recurring workflows, so not used as isolated workflow applications. And lifecycle continuity is the defining feature. So drafting, prosecution, and post-process are interconnected. And strategic implementation, the pattern practice become a lifecycle intelligence system. Okay, so then I want to share how to build the best AI in pattern practice. So this topic should be much improved in the future with the more interact with the practitioners and getting more like increasing knowledge curve. But anyways, this is my share of my initial thought about this one. So so defining best practice. So best practice define decision architecture rather than tool adoption. So key dimension is lifecycle integration, decision traceability, analytic consistency, and strategic alignment. So I just developed principles. So workflow first design. So AI information must start with workflow design. So identify key decision point. So patternability assessment, client drafting, and prosecution strategy and portfolio decisions. So AI support decision making, so not replace workflow structure. And principle two is a life cycle integration. So best practice requires full life cycle connectivity. So integration across stages, search, drafting, for example, portfolio enforcement. And cross-stage in intelligence flow is very important. It's insight to propagate across the life cycle. And principle is institutional memory. So this is very important because this is another like a layer of the knowledge management, integrated knowledge management. So AI native system accumulate knowledge over time. So source of learning is a prosecution outcome, examiner behavior, litigation result, the portfolio performance. So the continuous improvement of pattern strategy. And human AI Cofiler, this is particularly, I have a intensive experience in other industries developing this framework. So AI argument expert judgment. So AI provides analytical support to pattern recognition, structural reasoning, and human provide the legal interpretation and strategic decision making. And principle five is expand beyond the drafting. So organization must extend beyond the drafting workflow. So maturity progression with drafting, prosecution, portfolio monetization. So reading organization integrate AI into licensing and enforcement sources. And principle six is redesign invention intake. So all this stage offers highest deliveries. So ANA to intake a system. So structure invention disclosure, identify patternable concept. So higher quality pattern application and improve the downstream outcomes. So implementation roadmap, right, is depending on the organization, but generally the organization can adopt the AI native practice through structure step. So assess current workflow fragmentation and define lifecycle integrated architecture and pilot high impact use cases and build the integration infrastructure and scale with governance and training. So pattern practice evolved into a strategic capability. So supporting innovation, competition, and long-term value creation. Okay, so as I mentioned that this is just the second session of my pilot webinar series. So this is, as I mentioned, a pilot, right? So I'm doing my own experiment to invite as many that I possible in my like LinkedIn connection that currently I count about the 2,000 pattern practice in my network, and I try to invite them, and then if I feel that I need more people, then I invite more new people to join, and then try to get let them know about this initiative, and then share my idea first and then I want to interact with other people that are expert, right? So that I know that that's very difficult from my experience. Anyway, because I'm trying to do it because this is worthwhile to try, and then it is needed in the future. So this pilot provide the increasing knowledge curve about this initiative, and then maybe have a more better way to do this kind of like initiative as the I'm not sure whether I when I can officially launching this one to be adopted, but I'm trying now. So the next topic that I'm thinking about is the important is integrating AI powered solution into pattern practice. So this part actually that I'm mostly I have some strong confidence because I'm understand all the AI powered solutions in internal level because I have involved in many different sectors in as supporting their in-house innovation to developing this kind of tool. So I know about the technology operation and implementation, everything, and then their limitation and their power, right? Contrary to just use them. So I can have a very honest the objective evaluation of each tools. So I have a white paper about the introducing the current. I don't have enough time to survey all, but I tried my best and about the 50 that I evaluated and then introduced. But as I started this initiative, and then I invite people to my webinar, and I found that there are more solutions available. So maybe I can include more and show some provide like not just use as a tool, right? Like you have used in before traditional like search tools, other like analytic tool that I also have a lot of experience with that. But integrating AI-powered solution into pattern practice is not actually can be done by the solution provider. They don't have any experience. So this is the particular strong point. I know about the both side. So I'm going to have a discussion that to deliver my honest kind of like understanding that how to integrate AI-powered solution into the pattern practice. And next one will be that this is not generate it generate this topic is not provide the solution vendors because as far as I know that I tried several the compressible tools they don't have any kind of this kind of identity orchestration layer. So I developed my own and I tested it. And then for example, I tested some of the module that I found that the one of the most comprehensive tool. Maybe they are not in the like some part actually they are not covered. For example, they are not using in the monetization and litigation enforcement, but otherwise the starting invention harvesting to portfolio management that the tool name is to DeepIP that they let me explore and I completely test them. So I test them using they are not integrated, they are not orchestrated. So I developed my own identity orchestrator over their deep IP module and tested and I share my experience. Also, AI native pattern practice for SCPs. So I'm thinking about some specific topic for the practice. And particularly, I'm very expertise in standard essential patterns. So I'm going to talk about focus topic. And also, I hope to this one, but I need to invite the people to the as a panel. But so I'm not sure because but this is several months later. So during the time, I have a more for example that there is some understanding of my initiative and some professionals. I because I know about the who are maybe the readers in this ANA pattern practice, but I'm not sure whether they will participate to as a panel. But anyway, I'm going to my best. And then last one with the hand-on case, right? Actually, that how actually that to develop the AI and pattern practice build and utilizing AI tools. So this is my dream goal. Right? So actually hand-on time to cultivating to professionals to be a part of the AI and pattern practice. But this is a completely like a more months later. So I'm just to maybe during the time maybe have more learning curve and more people to participate, understand my initiative that'll be possible. And then particularly I'm thinking about like AI and pattern practice for SCPs and pattern practice global lenders roundtable as a live, not in webinar, because this time is around June that I'm going to attend. I'm going to San Diego to attend the IPBC 2026, and then also like there was a one LexisNexis organized like SCP type of the event. So I'm going to San Diego, and then a good time to a lot of people, the IP professionals gather together at the time. Then I maybe contact someone maybe supporting my thinking about to organize this kind of like event. If possible, then I'm thinking about like hybrid or the on-site of this event. So this is what I'm thinking about now. So I will share in the future about the next webinar that I'm going to post maybe around this week and then start to invite again. Okay. So I just share my thing. So I really want to hear from the peer practitioners to to your insight or whatever that you don't need to share like now, but I just express my initiation of this kind of like webinar series and white papers. So I welcome to like your support or if you are interested in collaborating with me. It's a very early stage. I don't have any kind of like official plan, anything. I just have share my experience and then do a bunch of the white papers and then starting to share that idea through this webinar. So if you have something to have a like a feel like this is really needed for the pattern practitioners, and then if you're interested in collaboration or whatever, I welcome. Okay. So is anyone to have any question, comment, insight to share? Okay, so I will share this recording and also the presentation slide in my LinkedIn post and through the email. And also like I have a the one good thing is that I started but I start this initiative in January of this year. And this is a second webinar and as I mentioned I produced 11 white papers. And then I developed the website about pattern AI and Pattern Practice Academy, the website in the LinkedIn. And then good news is people are getting more and more interested in and then join following my LinkedIn site also to attend my webinars. So up to now, I accumulate about the 200 to participate to my webinar. So my goal that I did for the healthcare innovation that I intended 3 years ago that I based on my understanding of the all particle high-tech deep technology to apply to healthcare and life sciences and then started my webinar series and produced a bunch of the papers, book chapters, and many things, and then share with the peers and connected. Now I have about the 2000 is have an email list to share nearly every week about my insight, also like have some collaboration stuff. So I hope that this will be happen for this pattern practice. So as I mentioned, I have about the 2000 in my LinkedIn and then the unless they actually the like admit that they participate I didn't send any kind of like emails. But anyway, I have already 200. And additionally, last year I have a bunch of the series of webinar about my own agentic AI framework, the IP intelligence, and then so now I have about more than 500 for the email list to share. So my goal is to within this year about the 1,000 direct contacts for email. And maybe hopefully starting officially this academic initiative to within this year. So anyway, so thank you for attending today's webinar. Randy, thank you again to is the guy actually that's supporting me. He's not nothing to do with the pattern practice actually that he continuously to attend. Randy, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
how about like feeling that this is the second time, right? So
Yes. I'm not really familiar with this. I just like to gain knowledge.
Yeah, the reason is because for example, the other industry, not just me, because they feel that AI native is needed, right? Because a lot of people just use AI native cloud system, AI
Sure.
native something, right? Except
Exactly.
in the pattern practitioners. So that's why I started this initiative. And I hopefully that this is a common language, like everyday practice, they use this one, right? So
Correct.
I'm preparing that era. But you know, I was very hard time to over 3 years to share my inside innovation and other things in the healthcare life science communities. And now I'm very good in now in shape. So, but I spent 3 years, right? So
That's
I
correct.
think that the
Yes.
worthwhile to spend my time for this initiative for the all the patent pressure like the professionals that I'm also part of them. So, but let's see, because I'm strongly
Yes.
believe that I as I did in the healthcare and life sciences, this will be something that the people will admit.
You're exactly right. Yes. I'm hoping that I can find a way to collaborate with you.
hmm Okay. Anyway, thank you for attending. Right. So hope to see you in the next webinar. Okay.
You probably will.
Thank you. Thank
Take
you to
care.
everyone to participate
Bye-bye.
today. And then I will share everything in LinkedIn and email. Okay. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.